All right. What's up, Weird War Weirdos? It's Brian again. Doing my daily just painting chat. Where you guys can chat with me about whatever the hell you want to talk about. And not necessarily watch me paint, but we can all paint together and just, bullshit. Shoot the breeze. Shoot the breeze. Right now, I am working on get some light in there. What that is a World War II Japanese pilot, like zombie. I'm working up on that bad boy. I already did the pilot, the normal pilot. Now I gotta do a zombie version. So I've got a communique from the Crafty Gamer. Check out his YouTube page. The Crafty Gamer. He's a crafty one. He is going to do a challenge here, probably the beginning of the year, where it's going to be paint up a Gundam, some sort of Gundam, or its derivatives, in some sort of World War II fashion. So there you go. That's pretty cool. Gundam, some sort of Gundam, or similar. It's got to look like a gun. That his only criteria is that it's got to look like a Gundam. It can't be like a transformer. It's got to be like a Gundam looking thing. I'm very ignorant to the Gundam world, but I mean, I guess if it looks like like an anime robot, then there you go. You're good to go. So I think you'd be safe. Any kind of anime looking robot kit would probably work. But yeah, so he wanted people to pick a country and then just paint it like however you think that country during World War II would have their Gundam things painted. So I've committed, and I'm going to paint my excellent Kacha Kosamonoku minis that I got from Coveted Forge. These are like Japanese Gundams. So I'm going to make these my Japanese Gundams. I'm going to paint them up like badassness. They'll be Japanese, blowing some shit up. Look at that. They've got like rocket launchers on the back. So like if their gun runs out, or they're up against armored vehicles or something, they just pull out this big boy. Looks like a Stinger, but whatever. Pretty sweet. Those totally look Gundam-ish. So that's what I'm going to commit. So I'm going to paint those two bad boys up when he has his event. So that will be Weird World War II's contribution to the Crafty Gamers Weird World War II painting challenge. Thanks for doing that, by the way. Spreading the weirdness. You can come at it at all sorts of different angles, different peoples. You don't even have to be a Weird War weirdo. You can just say, hey, I'll do something different, something unique. I'm going to paint up a Gundam I'm going to paint it like an American. I'm going to paint it up like German, or paint it up like Japs, or whatever. Italian, Chinese, Ethiopian, Greeks, Russian, Soviets, Brits, the Dutch, Norwegians, Finnish, South Africans, Mexicans, Brazilians, Canadians. There you go. All sorts of people you can. That's just off the top of my head. One thing about World War II, man, is most of the world was into it one way or another. One way or another. It is Thursday the 14th. It's almost 4 o'clock here. The great state of Texas, the great wet state of Texas. Man, we're still getting rain. We had rain all night, all this morning. It's nice and cool outside. Man, it's like heaven. Forgot how wonderful rain was. We hadn't had it in so damn long. Woo! Good stuff. I'm digging it. I missed it. Missed it. But yeah, just so last night's hey nerd, what's up, buddy? Yes, nothing better than a good rainy day. Calms you down. And for me, it calms me down. It feels like everything's mellow. I feel, feels good. You can walk outside and just, preferably it's not all humid and gross, but if you walk outside, it's all nice and cool. The wind's blowing a little bit. You hear the rain. The rain makes me sleepy. I love listening to the rain. I used to buy those like environmental CDs, like the ocean and rain, mostly rainstorms, like thunderstorms and stuff. Like I remember having one. It was like a thunderstorm on a tin roof, like a tin roof. So it was like, ding, 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 ding. It's pretty awesome. Dig it. So what's going on in the nerd world, man? You now that you got your BattleTech stuff done, what's next, man? You gotta have something else, something next in pipeline. Because if you don't, you're dead, man. You can't be finished with all your stuff, man. I don't want you to die. Your Dark Elves. You were mentioning something about Dark Elves the other day. Ooh, the Noble on Black Dragon. Damn, I was gonna do my printing. I'm gonna do my printer this weekend sometime. I'm gonna do it because I want to do it. It's sitting right in front of me, and I got all these STLs, man. I just need to paint. I need to just do it. I need to pop it. Just rip off the Band-Aid and just do it. I don't have a wash station. So what I'm thinking about doing is just like I've got like a really deep pan, like a pan, like a baking pan or whatever, and I'm probably just gonna like submerge it in that. I don't really have like I guess I've got some plastic totes I could probably use too. Yeah. Do you just let it soak, right? You don't like brush it, or you said to brush it lightly with like a toothbrush, like a tooth, or I think you said a toothbrush, or just even a brush, because I know you don't want to push too hard because it's like I don't fucking know. You swirl it, very soft toothbrush. Okay, yeah, because I know you don't want to put a lot of like effort on it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because I've seen those wash stations, and then like the curing stations, and basically just like a little cute, like it's cool looking. It's like yellow and it glows when it's on or something. It's like hell yeah, cure that shit. So I don't know if you heard, the Crafty Gamer was proposing a painting challenge at the beginning of the year. Nothing like right away, but he wanted people to do a Gundam, because I mean, if you're into BattleTech, you know what Gundam is. He wanted people to do a Gundam, but in World War II, like style, like Weird World War II. So I'm gonna use K's excellent Japanese Gundam things. I'm gonna paint these up as Japanese. These are awesome. So I think those look Gundam-ish. I guess that's the only criteria he has. It's got to look Gundam-ish. So yeah, so you could go buy a Gundam kit or just get any kind of anime looking robot thing and painted up like a country in World War II, like some sort of belligerent in World War II. So there you go. The coolest, in my opinion, the coolest camo jobs were the Germans. They had that like ambush color. That was awesome. Like it's the tan, it's the Panzer tan, or Panzer tan, or Panzer sand, or whatever you want to call it. And then it had like the brown kind of wiggles and the green, and they had like the dots, the different colors of the dots. That's really cool. Yeah, it might be interesting though. I mean, a lot of it wouldn't be too hard. Just like like American stuff. I mean, the only American camo they had like the Marines did a little bit of that kind of woodland looking camo. They use like black and like a tan. But most of it is just olive drab. And I know the Brits did a little bit. The Commonwealth did a little bit of. I mean, the Japanese have their crazy, two tone with the yellow like squiggly lines all through it. And that's kind of cool. Weapon swaps. Yeah, you might you might need like yeah, I mean, I guess some of the weapons might look really high tech. Maybe kind of dumb it down or get a Gundam that has like a really basic looking weapon. Well, no, I mean he's talking about giant robots. So like I guess you could have like I mean upscale. Like you could buy a hell, I don't know, 135 scale Gundam and then like get some 135 scale weapons, I guess, if you wanted to use them. But this is pretty cool. I mean, this looks interesting. It's almost like like a Lewis gun. I mean, for the mechanics of my game command mechanics, this thing would be like, that gun would be some sort of auto cannon, maybe shooting like 50 millimeter rounds. And then it had like a single shot, maybe rocket launcher on the back there for anti armor use. I try to, like in my gaming, I try to stay realistic to the models that I'm using, right? So like when I look at this, so like I haven't made any rules for this yet, but so I'm looking at this thing, right? Okay. Now, be it man piloted or robotish, some sort of AI or something. This looks probably like maybe like I don't know. This could go either way. If it had a crew, it'd be a single dude. I would definitely say it'd be like a dreadnought, like in 40K. It'd be like a dreadnought. It'd be a single guy controlling the whole thing. So we're looking at this thing. This thing looks pretty nimble. I'd say it has a pretty good speed to it. Armor. I usually don't over armor my things. So this being a mech, most mechs that are two-legged in my world are light armored. Okay, just because a two-legged is going to not be able to carry as much armor that like a 4 or a 6 or an 8-legged walker would. So two-legged walkers are relatively light armored. So I'd probably stick maybe the armor of like I don't know, like an M3 or like maybe a 38T or maybe one of the cruiser tanks, something like that, like a light tank, not like an armored car, but like a light tank. And then maybe give it a couple extra things around the shoulders, because these shoulders obviously have some big old thick old fucking plates on them, right? Because in my game I have vehicle locations, so I can make the vehicle armor a little bit thicker in these locations than other parts. So there's that. He's got like a gun. So, for it's big. That's a big ass hole right there. Compared to, like, let me get you something to compare it. So here's a 28 millimeter, dude. And there's the Gundam guy. So it's pretty big. So that's probably, shit, that might even be like I won't go too crazy. We'll make it like a 50 mil autocannon of some sort. which is pretty badass. I mean, for something they go, I mean, 550 cal or 50 smash in India at the same time could really wreak havoc, even if it doesn't penetrate. And then there I would put some sort of because in my game I have ammo characteristics, and what happens every time you roll a jam, and jams don't necessarily mean like the weapon is jammed. It means like you have to change a magazine or whatever it might be, or there's some sort of fouling of the weapon. But after so many jams on that same weapon, it's like considered you roll a dice, and if it's like a 20, it's like the weapon's been like damaged and it can't be used anymore, right? Or it can be repaired. You can if you have like spare barrels or you have some sort of repair, you can repair it, but it takes so whatever. But if you don't roll a 20, it's just basically you're out of ammo. So you got to go find more ammo from somebody. So, but like on these, I definitely put some sort of ammo restriction on it because I mean, I don't see any extra, he's got like a drum magazine on top of this thing, right? So I don't really see a place where he's not carrying any extra drum mags. Now I could if feasibly, I could put like a box or do some sort of like pouch or something that would show that he has another one. But yeah, so I like doing that kind of shit. Like, and then the rocket launcher. I mean, he obviously doesn't have any extra rockets, so it's a one shot, kind of like a Panzerfaust or some shit. He just shoots it and dumps it. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I play within I kind of restrict myself in the mechanic and give special rules to what the models look like. Because man, I mean, I seriously believe it's a disservice to you just generalize like a class of vehicle, and instead of if the vehicle has certain characteristics about it, it should have some special rules to it, But yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's a cool ass fucking mech. Yep. So I have a platoon. I'll say it's a two mech platoon. Heavy armored mechs. These will look really cool walking next to the dust. I got a bunch of the dust, not a bunch. I got like 2 or 3 of the dust Japanese walkers. These things will be faster, obviously. They're kind of like running around. These could be assault. They got like hands, right? So they can like crush shit. They can punch shit. They can pull things down. And then one of the big rules for me, like in my gaming, is that two-legged mechs, if they, because so I got mech rules in my game, right? And so like two-legged, they have to brace themselves before they shoot a certain size weapon, because they're still big and powerful, but they can topple or easier on 2 legs. But if they get knocked down, you can knock them down. If they don't have arms, like dedicated, arms, they can't get back up. Like they're like, if you got like, we'll say we were talking about dust, like most of the dust walkers don't have arms. So like if you knocked over like a Mickey or a Ludwig or something, it falls over, right? Can't get up. Doesn't have any arms. But like if you're playing, I think the Luther, one of the Luther's arms is an arm, an actual like claw arm or whatever. You can push yourself back up somehow, with that arm. So, or it grabs onto something or pulls itself up, but with that arm, it's able to pick itself up. But you don't get knockdowns as much on like 4-legged or higher in legs because they're so big and they're just it's really hard, and then they gotta like be off a major surface. But like you getting like a 2-legged can get knocked down by like a weapon. If something hit it, like a certain size weapon can like knock it down because it's so the impact is so big. But yeah. Well, no, it's true. It's true. I mean, armless people can get up, sure, but the thing is, we're talking about a vehicle, like like a big, giant vehicle. I just don't think like looking at the vehicles that those vehicles have the they're not that ambidextrous where they can like you know, have the ability to just kind of use their knees to just stand up, because these things are so heavy and over, maybe unbalanced and shit. Oh yeah, so if a four-legger gets hit by something and knocks it down, yeah, that weapon or whatever it is would definitely knock over a fucking tank. But most of the weapons aren't like that. I mean, unless you're talking like massive fucking aerial bombs or like massive artillery pieces at point blank range type of shit, knocking tanks over from the impact. I've seen pictures of Tiger tanks being flipped over from like bombing raids that like during Fulda Gap when the typhoons are flying down, just murdering everybody. Um, those rocket attacks and bomb attacks flipped a couple. Well, at least flipped one Tiger. So that's a big motherfucker. But yeah, those aerial bombs, man, woo, nothing to laugh at. Oh wow, on TikTok?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do TikTok. Mel just put a picture of our cat on TikTok and it just got like 1,000 views or some shit. Zero Boys claim Zver. I don't know what that is, nerd. Zver Boys claim the food flips as well. Is that like a squadron or something? Like a Soviets? That looks like a Soviet word. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. The ISU 152s. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those are big. That's just a big howitzer. Well, the Soviets had those tractor howitzers too. Like, those like 250s or some. They just like they're just sitting on like a tractor, and it's just this giant fucking gun. It has no armor. It's just a tractor chassis with a big ass gun on top. That's it. There's no crew compartment. There's no nothing. It's just just fucking. It's great. But yeah, I mean, there's pictures of them when they're in Berlin. They would just roll up in front of that building. There's that one video where they roll up in front of that building and they just fire at it at point blank range and just destroy the whole fucking thing. Yeah, it might be the 203. The B4, yeah, it's not like an armored vehicle. It's basically a howitzer sitting on a tractor. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, they're using it as like an assault gun. It's like, Jesus. It's like the Sturm Tiger, too. I mean, I believe they did the same thing. The Sturm Tigers were deployed. I can't remember what city that was, but they were like point blank ranging like a Sturm Tiger at the town and just leveling it. Oh, I know they are. Like the Soviets. Oh my God. The Soviets is just like, okay, what can we do? How do we just put a bunch of guns on some shit? It doesn't matter if we don't give a shit if the crew survive. We don't give a shit. We got a million crew behind that one. Let's just get whatever we want on a tank or on a chassis and it drives. That's all we give a shit about. That's great. Fucking Soviets, man. And the hell they still do it today. What is that Terminator tank? It's got like, what has it got on it? It's got like auto cannons and machine guns and missiles and rockets and flame. It's got like 50 fucking guns on the damn thing, right? It's called the Terminator. It's got like 50 guns on it. Maybe not 50. It's probably got like 8 different fucking guns on it, right? If not 12 to whatever it is. But I'm just sitting like, you got so many weapons on this one vehicle, right? How much ammo could you even possibly carry on a tank? If you had like, at least 4 different like weapon calibers, right? And they're dual on each side. And then you got like some sort of rockets or some shit, missiles. And it's just like, what the fuck? So let's put as much shit as we can on this tank. We don't care if it can carry any ammo or anything. Let's just stick it on there. Oh, okay. It's true, man. It's just like let's just get as much. Let's just make tanks as fast as we can, as many as we can. But don't get me wrong, the T-34 was a good tank, like design. The sloped armor did really well. It was easy to make. The Christie chassis did well with them. The armor, eh. But again, they had 5 bazillion of them. Like the KV2s, no, the KV1s were just ridiculous looking. They're just like, and I've heard reports where that damn thing on uneven ground that giant turret would like roll fucking off the vehicle because it's so top heavy. Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Like, they didn't design them initially to be transports, but hell, the Soviet infantry would ride those bad boys into battle. Dude, that's unheard of. So, like, you watch a lot of these battle reports and shit, guys, right? And they play transports fucking wrong. They didn't do transports like they do now, where like a Bradley would come up in the front line, give cover, against the actual enemy as their troops dismounted on the front line. Dude, no. Half tracks would deploy like behind the fucking front line, and then their troops would move forward. They didn't stay up there and now they would support the infantry as they dismounted if they could, but more than likely half tracks did not act like infantry fighting vehicles, dude. They acted like APCs because they would just get blown to shit. They didn't have any armor. There was no fucking, those gun shields are a joke. The Americans didn't have any shields on their shit. So it was like, yeah, it was like a battle taxi. Drop them off and get the fuck out, But when you have the Soviets, I mean, they're like Soviet doctrine. We're not going to get off these tanks until we're getting shot at. So you're on the back of a T-34, and then start shooting, or something starts shooting at it. That's your sign. It's probably not the best design to be, used as, sitting on an engine deck of a tank. It's probably pretty uncomfortable and hot, but it probably worked. Yeah, it's very limited though. From what I've read, the Grenadiers, they were behind the armor. They weren't doing assaults, against the front lines. They would come up behind the armor thrusts. And those 251s and 250s, they didn't stay on station where there's enemy fire very long. They it looks because I've read a lot of Panzer Grenadier, and they battle taxied pretty close, but they didn't like engage the enemy like we would have like infantry fighting vehicles. They just wouldn't last. But they did. They got a lot close. Well, the Panzers have that wedge formation where the heavy tanks were up front, and then like the medium tanks were on the sides, and then the middle were the Panzer Grenadiers. So when the tanks, did that initial assault, the Grenadiers would pop out and start mixing everything else. But yeah, but we all play them like they're fucking infantry fighting vehicles, and that's why they always get blown to hell. I always play my infantry like transports just inside of machine gun range and try to find cover, and then have my troops move forward. And in my game, my machine guns give covering fire. They do like suppressive fire. So it's not just like you're shooting at a squad. You're like doing a suppressing fire. So it makes things a little bit easier for to just suppress enemy units instead of having to kill them all to keep them. Like, yeah, it's like the T-34s are shooting as the troops are in the back, like firing and shit. No, dude. The minute that cannon starts shooting, they're jumping off, man. Especially if the T-34 is taking fire, like getting like there's enemy tank rounds coming in, dude, they're off that bad boy. They're like, see ya. There's a great World War II like German propaganda, like a training film for Panzer Grenadiers. You guys have got to watch that. It's like it's just showing like all these engagements and how they engaged the enemy armor on foot and with like infantry, with like all sorts of different infantry weapons, but as a Panzer Grenadier, man, it's fucking great. Yeah, dismounting not an option. Yeah, the Soviets might just say, you guys stay on this until we get to that bridge, and then you can get off. It's not like they're going to stop and let them off. You know what I mean? If they got to get off, they got to jump off. And I mean, I've been on a couple tanks. I've never been on top of a T-34, but I've been on a couple tanks, man, and they're fucking high. They're not low to the ground. They're pretty up. They're pretty far up. Mike, what's up, buddy? Yeah, me and Nerd are just talking about realism versus Hollywood, action on the battlefield. That they shoot, yeah, that's like, you got off too early. I got shot. Well, you shouldn't have been shot. It's true. That's exactly right. It's and that's why the Soviets put machine guns on the back of their tanks. And the Germans, they use that like close-in defender weapon. It's basically a flare gun that had a little hatch on top of there, and it could turn around, it could twist around. And what it did is it just shot I think it was like a 2-second or a 1 second. I think it was a 2-second fuse. It shot like a fragmentation grenade up, and it would blow up above the tank, and it would just shower the tank with shrapnel. So if there's any enemy infantry on top of it, that it would kill them. But they also use that as their smoke launcher too, so they can shoot smoke grenades in whatever direction they wanted. So that's pretty cool. Oh, you got your temple dogs based, huh? Right on. Yeah, dude. Okay, so unfortunately, the best flat spray is the Testors dull coat. But Testors doesn't make them anymore, man. You can still find these around, but they're harder and harder to find. But I heard that Winsor Newton's flat spray is really good, but I think it's a little pricey because it's Winsor Newton. But I know there's a couple other people out there that say that they have some other good ideas for dull coats. Oh, right on. Yeah, that's the one where I'm trying to think what the mine is. Is that the one that shoots off and blows up in front of them? Oh, the bouncing Betty. Yeah, it's basically the same concept. It just, again, the flare gun, their Sturm pistol had a bunch of different rounds to it, and the fragmentation would blow up. Hell, the Germans late war, they actually, you remember they had this is a weapon that no one does. There's the Germans had like a one-shot flamethrower. Right, it was almost like a Panzerfaust, but it was like a flamethrower, right? And they would. There's some photos of these placed in certain directions on these Panthers. So, like, if enemy troops were close to the tank, they'd like pull like a cord, and this flamethrower would go on like whatever angle or some shit. But yeah, that I haven't really seen anybody do that weapon in 28 millimeter World War II. I can't remember what it's called, but they're one shot fucking flamethrowers. And you just threw them away when you were done with them. It's pretty cool. I know they had something like that. They had these like remote control flamethrowers like in D-Day, like in the entrenchments. But I think they didn't get activated before the Allies overtook them or some shit. And I say remote control, I don't mean like it's like a flame Faust. Yeah, that's what that might be what it's called, like the nickname for it. Guerrilla Engineer. Oh, do they? Oh, okay. I haven't. Do they have the actual like model? See, that's one cool thing about Dust, guys. That if you didn't know, Dust, they were like model guys, right? Like model makers, and they like a lot of their shit that they had in their game was actually like stuff like in World War II, like the Luftwaffe and some of the like the X7s. I mean, although it might look a little different, then it's all kind of based in some of the technology at the time. So that's pretty cool. I always dug that. That's one thing I dug about. And one thing about Dust is like I think they had a great idea with making it 148. And the reason why is that you would have your modelers that would build in that scale. And then you have your war gamers. So you're hitting two different hobbies right there. So your products can be, have a wider audience and customer base. I thought that was a fantastic idea. And 148 to 28 millimeter, it's not too bad. On the battlefield, you can't tell. But I mean, if you stuck them next to you side by side, they look a little different. But for the most part, I think they size pretty well, like figures. I think the 148s are a little bit bigger and a little bit taller than 28s, but not, like I said, not much. They really aren't. You could definitely get they'll pass for same size on the battlefield. So what kind of temple dogs you got, Mike? Is that a fantasy, or Nerd's saying he's working on his dark elves? Are your dark elves kind of like the dark elves? They're like, sadomasochists and they're like slavers and all that stuff, or is it something different? Because that's the only thing that, I mean, even in like role playing, the dark elves are big slavers. Shadows of Brimstone. Okay. Yeah, the guys I play with have all that stuff, and they got it all painted up. But I haven't played it. I might have played it. Is it? Man, I can't remember. They have like a bazillion games, dude. The collective gamer, like years of gaming with our group, is probably like hundreds of years. Those guys all started playing like in the 70s. They have all the Avalon Hill shit. They got like everything. And they're big miniature guys. So and they don't play a game until everything's fucking painted. They send all their stuff off to get it professionally painted. So we play pretty quick. As soon as those minis come back in from wherever they sent them off to get painted, we're playing the game. It's pretty cool. Okay, like the dark elves. Okay. The yeah, there's a lot of companies that do kind of that dark elf like look to them. I like the old. I remember the old, the original like dark elves for Warhammer Fantasy. Those are kind of cool looking. I never liked the high elves, like how they did them. They kind of, I don't know. Let's see. I did my pilot. He's done, old zombified and bloody. And I did one of my druid dudes with all the bugs all over. I don't know if that's gonna turn out at all when I dip it. I don't even know if those colors will show. That'll probably pretty muted, but whatever. It's painted. So, in your fantasy, nerd, do you have an opponent? Do you play against anybody specifically, or any kind of army specifically? There's nothing worse than having an army and you don't have anybody to play with, man. That sucks so bad. So bad. I'm looking up something here real quick. Dudes. So I'm still looking. I've been trying to put together this damn Type 92. Trying to put together a Type 92 battalion gun, right? They're warlords. And of course, they don't have any fucking instructions. And I'm trying to do it right. I don't want to, it's got a unique kind of shield. Okay, is that how it fits? Weird. The local OPR Discord. So, oh yeah, right on. That's the 1-page rule, right? Yeah, that's cool. So it goes on like that. Wow, that's weird looking. Weird. But yeah, there's unfortunately around here in my neck of the woods, everybody's, and that's fine. And again, it's just not what I play. Is everybody, everybody plays the GW stuff and the bolt action. So sometimes I'll get I'll get a need to play something, and I have a couple bolt action army lists that I've made. I have some of the dice, and that's all I have of bolt action is like a dozen order dice. That's it. And then like I made what is that? There's a website like Army Builder or something like that. It's a website that you can make the army lists for free, and you just download them on a PDF. And I just printed them up. So I printed it up like a couple German armies, a couple of Jap armies, and a couple like American Marine armies. That's it. Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen a few battle reports from that one page. People seem to like it. They seem to enjoy it. I mean, it's basically the same, right? Like, so like from what I've heard, is you cannot copyright game mechanics. It's just you can't copyright that shit. So you can like basically take someone's fucking game and just use the mechanics. You just can't use all the other shit like the names of like units and armies and whatever. That's the thing you can't do. But the mechanics themselves, because I want to say someone tried to sue another company for like someone made like kind of like they made a Monopoly knockoff. I think is what this all comes from. Monopoly knockoff, and like Milton Bradley, whoever owns that, was like, no, you can't do that. Those are our mechanics. It's our game. They're like, well, and the judge is like, no, you can't like copyright mechanics, but you can't be Monopoly. It's got to be a little different. Can't be the same. So, do you think like people are going to use that game as an entry into like Warhammer, or is it going to be an exit for those type of games? Like people are sick of all the, like then they just do like a big like a purge or a balancing or something. You think people are playing that as an entry point or an exit point of like Warhammer? I would think an exit. People are sick of the big stuff, and they just want a quick game with their stuff without all the bullshit. But again, I could be wrong because I am not part of that community really. I mean, I'm part of the gaming community, but not the Warhammer community. I'm curious what the Warhammer people think of these rule systems. Like, like they make fun of them or whatever's. Ooh, is that what? That cannot be how that works. That's awfully big. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got to be careful with those spray varnishers, man, because it's just like sometimes, we've talked about this before. Sometimes they turn your shit white. It almost like frosts them. But yeah, I mean, I guess I want to say I had some army painter stuff or army some shit. I can't remember what it was called, but it was not very good. But I do have this might be interesting if you guys uh Army Painter does make like a bottled like a liquid. This is the anti-shine matte varnish. So what happens is when I spray my models, sometimes you'll get like under the gun or in those creases that don't quite get sprayed. I just go back and do like a really fine like coat of this stuff, and it gets it all. And it's this stuff lasts. I mean, it's almost empty, but this thing lasts for shit about a year or two, so it's pretty cool. Oh, so you do an anti shine and then apply brush and okay. Oh yeah, for the shiny bits. Yeah, I do the same thing. Like if there's blood or if they're, yeah, something like that needs to be shiny, that's what I'll do. Man, that thing looks weird. I guess that's what it looks like. Okay. I've been fighting this damn model kit for the last couple weeks. I finally figured out how to do it. I don't like models that don't have fucking instruction booklets. It's just dumb. Be it, would you buy a model kit from Testers or Ertl or Tamaya or DML or Dragon if it didn't have a fucking instruction booklet? It's just like ridiculous. At least put something like on your web page or something. I don't fucking know. I'm just bitching. I'm in a bitching mood. Okay, yeah. That's cool. It's crazy how we, it's cool to see that, like, there's people like us, just doing the same shit. Because a lot of times, we're we're isolated in the hobby. We might not be isolated in the gaming, but in the hobby, because I think most people hobby by themselves, build their models, they paint their shit by themselves. They're not like with other people. So, you sometimes you don't realize how, common your how you do shit is. It's kind of neat to think about. Okay, this guy needs to go here. You guys are any of you guys doing mini Warmuts challenge? His just his just fun challenge for the month. See how much you can paint in a month, dude. I counted my how much I painted just this month in 14 days. I painted 72 models. Oh, dude, that's unheard of for me. I might do a dozen, if not like 2 a month. But 72 is unheard of for me. My God. You don't have to enter. You can just throw, it's all just for fun. It's nothing like, I think he's saying, I don't think he's giving a prize or anything, but he was saying something about next year. He was thinking about getting prizes or something. I'm like, dude, don't get prizes. Just, it's motivating us to paint. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, there you go. Yeah, 22 models is 22 models, brother, that you do not have to ever paint again. That's how I see it. It's just like, once this, I don't repaint minis. New. If it's jacked up, it stays. Well, that's not true. I'll repaint it, but there's nothing in my life. There's nothing worse than repainting a mini. My God, it's like I already painted it once. Never again. Never again. I once brought down the dragon's breath for love. Never again. Never repaint a model again if I don't have to. So those guys, those will get painted tonight. I just gotta let that shit dry though. Well, you got 4. Hey man, that's all right. So Mini Warma, he told a horrible story. He was saying that, or so one of the guys on his group said that he had finished up painting up something, and then he sprayed it with like a paint instead of like or no, I take that back. He painted something like a 3D printed something, and when he painted it, when it started to dry, it started to bubble off of the fucking model. Like there's maybe like some some chemical on it that was keeping the paint from adhering to the model. So he had to it'd be almost like, it almost looked like that stuff like when you have lead rot in your old figures. It looked like something like that. So like he had to soak that shit, strip it, clean it off, and then repaint them. I'm like, oh man, talk about a That's some demoralizing shit right there. Oh yeah, so I did. I was gonna do. I did a video for Not Jay's, but dude, I didn't do shit, man. Life like kept kicking me in the nuts that month, and I'm just like, I can't do anything, man. I meant to though. I think I might have done a couple minis, but I didn't do anything like I planned on it. Yeah, those guys, man, the Not Jay and his crew. Holy shit! Some of those guys are like painting machines. I remember Mutt was on that 24-hour painting thing. Dude, he was hurting after that. There's no way I could paint for 24 hours straight. No fucking way. Well, that's good. I'm glad. See, look, dude, those painting challenges got you back into it. That's cool. Oh yes, dude. My friend, I've done that once, but I caught it and just got like a little piece of the mini. I had a buddy who did like this was back during Rogue Trader. He painted up this beautiful like Eldar like army, right? And he had laid out all of his, I think it was all the swooping hawks and his might have just been some guardians or like their normal infantry. There was like probably like 20 of them, whatever, right? And he's like, and they look, they're all Eldar, so they're all shiny and they all got all a bunch of different colors and they're real colorful. He just did a whoosh, like he was talking to me when he was doing it. He was looking up at me and he was just spraying across. I didn't notice, right? And he looked down and it was a can of primer. And he so like those beautiful Eldar, the whole like 20 of them got their face just like painted white, dude. He was like, "What the fuck?" He was freaking out, man. He quit wargaming for like a month. It knocked him down. He couldn't handle it. Yeah, dude. But they were beautiful looking minis. But yeah, just all it takes is that 1 second. And you got to repaint all that shit. Jesus. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, what else do we got here? I was going to do some spray paint, but luckily, like we were talking, it's been raining down here, luckily. So I can't do any spray. I can't spray paint in the house. I don't have any place to do it. So I have to do it outside. And it's too moist outside to spray paint. Do you guys have any like special like nerd? You're a 3D printer guy. I'm sure you got all sorts of like cool little setup. I mean, for your 3D printer at least. I mean, you got to have like ventilation and you have all those like stations for it or whatever. Do you guys have any like you guys have like an airbrush booth or anything like that? I always wanted one of those. I used to live up in North Texas. And I had a basement, and my hobby room was down there. And I always meant to drill a hole in the wall and run a filter through or a exhaust through the fan through there and have an airbrush station. But I just never got around to doing it. Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm going to pretty much do. Just have a box fan on it. Oh, there you go. That's a good idea. In case something spills. That makes sense. See, guys? You guys should be watching. Watch Nerds Nerd's got, extensive experience in printing, and he's given out little tidbits of like nuggets of good advice. He uses doggy pee pads around his station in case there's a spill or something. Because I'm sure that resin, I mean, it'll ruin whatever it touches if it's like spilt on something. And I'm sure that smell will last forever. You don't get it out of your place. All right, what's next? I got 2 more of these bug handler dudes. Start working on those guys. Bug handlers. Oh, that's cool. So I got a question for you. That's a thing, like unfinished basements. So like again, I live in Texas, so having basements in Texas is unheard of. If you have one, I mean, it was purposely built to deal with the Texas, clay, because Texas is nothing but clay down here. So it's just horrible to have basements. But like it always seems like basements aren't. I mean, we might have talked about this already. I don't know if we talked about this already. I mean, are they always unfinished? Like in the house, it's like it's kind of like an attic. Like here we have attics, and it's never finished. It's just framed out. So if you want like if you want to finish out your attic, you have to do it yourself. But is it like that up north where like all the basements are basically unfinished? It just seems like every movie I see or people back in the day. Sheetrock's okay. I was about to say sheetrock's not too bad. Sheetrock's a pain in the ass. It really fucking is. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not like unheard of hard, but it's just like it is a pain in the ass to cut and to mount, and you got to like tape it. And fucking yeah, it can be a pain in the ass. I did that for a year, sheetrocking with some people. Yeah, okay, but like as generally, basements are not finished up north. They just kind of leave it up to you. It's almost like a garage. A lot of garages, like older garages, aren't finished out. They have the frames or whatever. But I think the newer homes that I've noticed, they have a finished out garage. Shit, man, if I'm buying a house, the whole damn house better be finished. I mean, I've bought two houses in the past, and I had to finish both of my fucking houses. I'm like, dude, if I'm buying a house, it needs to be finished. Finish the damn thing. Because I'm done doing that crap. Man, I remember putting in wooden floors. Oh my God, dude. My knees were shot for like 6 months after doing that. And you had to buy that special tool. Like it's like you never can use it again. It's just a tool specifically for putting down like wooden floors. It's like it's expensive too. And it's like you're never going to use it again after you're fucking finished with it. I should have rented it. In fact, there was a place in town that rented it, but none of them were like available at the time I was doing it. So it was like, ugh. Guess I'll buy it. Because the wife was like, I want it done now. Yes, dear. You guys know, if you guys are married, you got those honeydew lists. The honeydew lists. Never ends. That's cool though. It's like, hey, it's the 21st century. We're all equal, right? You can go do that sheetrock. Go lay that sheetrock. I'll do the dishes. You go paint the fence. I'll dust the china. Go chemical the pool. I'm gonna go and bake a cake. Look at me, I'm being sexist. You're cleaning the stovetop. Yeah, that's funny. No shit, dude. Me and Mel hates doing the dishes. She hates it, and she's lousy at it. I mean, she's god awful lousy, right, baby? You're lousy at cleaning dishes. Awful. So like, I usually do the dishes, but like, she's got like this OCD insanity where it's like, if it's not done, like when she needs it done, she's like, start to freak the fuck out, right? And I go, I'll get to it, baby. I'll do it before. And she's like, no, you gotta do it now. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it right now, but I'll do it. I'll do it in 2 hours. And she's like, she can't handle it, so she'll do it herself. It's called psychological warfare, people. No, but yeah, I actually doing dishes kind of calms me, because she's lousy at it though too. Ooh, horrible. Well, tell Mrs. Meander and Mike that she's always welcome on the give her opinions on whatever we say too. It was funny. I've always thought about trying to do like a live show with like wives and girlfriends or just partners or whoever. Like, it doesn't have to be a girl. It can just be, if your partner isn't a war gamer and you are. I'd love to just like have like a big like powwow about like So what do you think about this hobby? You know, it's like all this stuff. It's pretty funny. My ex-wife had written she was a writer, and she wrote like I have to put that link up there. She wrote kind of like a little essay about being the wife of a war gamer. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I'll put it up on the I'll put it on the chat. You might your wives might get a chuckle out of it. But yeah, she wrote, this is my ex-wife. I mean, we're still like best friends, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Let me see if I can find it. It's a funny take on like her take on coming into this world, not not it's like you'll see. Let me find let's see if that do it. Here we go. It's called I Married a War Gamer. This is on my blog, guys. So there is like an age, you gotta be 18 to get on here, but it's not like a porn site or anything. It's just my blog. But yeah, give it a go. It's pretty funny. It's like what she writes about. Let's see if that resonates with your guys' situation. That'd be funny. That's true. You gotta have that. You gotta have those corners that you can just throw your shit on and not worry about it. It's true. Yeah. So yeah, we just hand wash, man. I've been fighting with this dishwasher. It's a brand new dishwasher. We're renting, so it's a brand new dishwasher, right? And it's just like it doesn't clean worth a shit. And we get like the high quality soap, and we have like the rinsing solution. It didn't work with a shit. So we're just hand washing them now. Oh shit! You always put them in wrong. Oh man, that brings a lot of arguments up. Yeah, I remember like because my ex-wife, she could not her idea of filling a dishwasher was not even close to what I could fit into the dishwasher. And I was just like, how is it that you can only fit in like half of the dirty dishes when I load it's everything that we have dirty is in there. And she's like, well, you do them yourself. I'm like, no, I just asking. I'm not gonna fall for my own trick. Oh, that's cool. Miss Meandering. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, Justin, what's up, buddy? Oh, I don't even know what that means, nerd. Like HTTP on your site? On my blog or on here? I don't know what that means, dude. Unencrypted web is so 1990, dude. You ain't lying, brother. I have my computer right here. It still has like Windows 10, I think, on it. And then like it's got like a CD. I can't even play like modern headphones. It's got like remember the old stereo jacks, like a giant jack. It's like the big thick jacks that you'd have in your stereo. It's pretty low tech over here at Weird War HQ, man. Yeah, it's not overfilling it. It's just putting everything in there. I rinse most of it off anyway, so it should be good to go. All it needs to do is touch up what I already did to it. The big thing with her is like we had to because my son has compromised immune system, and we wanted to like sterilize it. So like getting the heat, the drying the dishes on the heat at least gave us the you know that other level of sterilization for him. Is there such thing as overfilling the dishwasher? Is that a thing? It's like that would be like, is there ever too much as too many miniatures? I mean, come on now. No such thing. So Mel made some cookies earlier today. They're called 3 ingredient cookies, right? So, hey baby, what are the ingredients to your cookies?
1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of peanut butter, and 1 egg.
Okay, 1 cup of sugar, whatever kind of sugar you eat. 1 cup,
Real
one
grain sugar.
1 cup of peanut butter,
And 1 egg.
and 1 egg. And how long does it take? Like 10 minutes,
9 minutes.
9 minutes, whatever. About 10 minutes at 350. Man, they're good. It's just like this big chunk of. It's like eating peanut butter cookies. Man, they're good though. And like I said, it takes nothing to make them. Mel's been on a big like sugar, like she's had a sweet tooth lately, and I'm like, I do not, I don't need any fucking sugar, folks, at all. None. Man, it's so good. My downfall are carbs, guys. Man, being a poor bastard, I would love to buy salads and like, I don't eat red meat anymore. I eat pretty lean meat. I eat chicken and I eat fish for the most part. But like, dude, we eat rice. We eat, like pasta and bread. I have sandwiches all the time. That's pretty much the mainstay. And I'm like a fucking bachelor over here, eating sandwiches all the time. But yeah, but your food dollar does not go far anymore. Damn, it is expensive there. It is expensive at the supermarket. You gotta, having kids and stuff, you gotta supplement that shit with like, because God, my kids just eat me out of house and home, dude. They are ravenous. You gotta fill those bellies somehow. Everything you post gets blocked, really? That's weird. Huh. You've been marked, dude. You've been marked by YouTube as one of them. Them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what. It's weird. I need to. Percy, what's up, buddy? Beans. Yes, we do have beans. We do eat the beans. We eat northern beans and kidney beans, green beans. I enjoy like those like frozen veggies, like mixes, like some with cauliflower and some have like carrots and cauliflower and green beans, all that kind of shit. It's pretty good. I like veggies. That usually we get a big old giant bag of that. That usually lasts a month for us. So that's pretty cool. Don't go down the aisles. You just do the end caps where all the sales and shit are. It's true, dude. Well, like I said earlier, so like I applied. I had a job interview today, and give me positive vibes. Hopefully, I get it. I'll know probably Tuesday, but I've already done drug tests and all that shit, so I'll pass that, no problem. But it's working for HEB, which is like a supermarket chain down here in Texas. So, and I hear that they have like employee discounts sometimes on certain like on their product, like their off-brand products. So I'm like, hell cheers. I need that job just to feed my family.
We lost our order with ATV. They don't order from us anymore.
No, they don't?
No, they order from out of town.
What are you talking about?
FBA.
Whatever. Oh, thanks, man. She is. She's a good writer. That's what she does for a living, man. That's actually my ex-wife, but we're still friends. But yeah, she that's what she did that for a long time. She used to have a she was like she was kind of like in the pioneer stages of like blogs and stuff, and she had something called Geek Parenting. It was a blog, like a mommy blog, and she would talk about toys and like kid stuff and whatever. And man, she had like Hasbro sending us shit. They had like Fisher Price, all these companies were sending us. Dude, one year we must have had like every new product that like Hasbro made for like kids, like babies, like young kids. That Christmas was like fucking crazy. And she'd do like reviews or whatever, and what she thought about it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, she's a good writer. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, we're not like we're X for a reason, but it is, guys. If you can, if it's possible, if you have an ex, you just and if you got kids with them, you just gotta like you just gotta like suck it up and just be civil, at least for the kids. You guys are still single, and trust me, she gives me a little shit here and there, and that's fine. I don't care. It's all good. We made a promise when we got divorced. The one thing we were going to do is
How about that Weird War?
What is up? I'm just talking about we're talking about Amy. Mel's getting jealous. Maybe I should start talking about Weird War. She gets angry when I start talking about exes. But anyway, back to Weird War II. Don't want to get beat up later. You were able to feed 12 people on $300 a week. Not even the end caps. Literally, the way grocery stores are laid out. If you do the walls only, the only thing you get from an aisle is flour. Huh. Yeah, well, I guess the outside walls are what, like the dairy and the meat and the bread and the like produce. Yeah, it makes sense. You just stay away from the insides, all the like specialty shit. Yeah, makes sense. How did you feed 12 people? What was that story? Are you like a foster home, or like a slave trader or some shit? I used to make all sorts of unique meals with ramen, like to help feed the fam when times were lean, and we've had a lot of lean times. Like add like veggies to it and add like a little bit of meat to it and just whatever. And spam. Kids love spam. That's weird for children to love spam, but they love spam. We would get like the less salted spam. They would eat that shit up. Oh, all right, man. Make sure you get the matte instead of the primer. You don't want to primer your stuff after it's been painted, dude. You do not want to feel that horror. The horror. Okay, so got the red down. Those would be like the ants and the whatever. Then we'll come in and we'll let that dry. Then we'll do a dry brush or something else. Hey, what are you doing? Stop. My damn cat just like comes up. She knows she's not supposed to. She's come up and then she'll just start digging into the carpet. I'm just like, come on, man. You don't want me to smack you. What?
That's your badass kid.
What? What are you talking about? You want to come in here and conversate?
No.
Mel's giving me shit, but she's talking shit from another room, guys. Safe. She's safe. What is that? It's like a giant squid on that dude. That's crazy looking.
Yeah. You causing trouble, little? You causing trouble?
Giant bugs and beetles and whatever's on this damn thing. So I guess it's about dinner time for all you guys, isn't it? Are you making dinner, or do I need to come in there?
You called?
Oh yeah, she's making meatballs. That's cool. That's like a luxury item for us, is spaghetti with meatballs. Man, guys, I have got a neighbor, right? He's two spaces down, but he drives this fucking giant dually monster truck, right? He's got this modified muffler, and it's got like, it's a dually with all this bullshit all over it. The guy works at like works at like a he works at Home Depot. It's not like he's a country guy, but anyway, he's got this, and he's got that modified muffler, man, right? And it just shakes the entire fucking neighborhood. And I've gotten into like fights with this dude. Like he's some hillbilly hick son of a bitch. I'm not afraid of anybody, man. I'll go up in there and go, turn that shit off. You're shaking the whole fucking neighborhood. And they go, fuck you. Anyway, but yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, we have our bouts. It's pretty funny. But we had a big fight out in the street. And his wife has made him park in a different part of like the neighborhood because of it. She's not a complete piece of shit. She realizes that his modified truck is causing problems in the neighborhood, and like, she was cool enough to like realize that and make him, because he wouldn't do it. It's like an ego thing with him. He's like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, you can. I can do whatever I want too. I can bitch and moan at you all the time. But anyway, but you can still hear him driving down the road. It's like blah, 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 blah. It's like this deep bass, blah, 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 blah. It's like you guys know, like when the garbage truck comes by your house, it like, kind of shakes the house as it's doing its thing and then it drives on. That's like, his truck is like that. It's just maddening. Maddening. A training camp where they put us in groups of 12 and we took special training courses on how to maintain a low budget. Really? It's like some sort of like government psychological test. Weird. Learn to bake bread is a real, oh yeah, dude. We used to make, oh man, we found the recipe for oh god, what, the Outback Steakhouse. They have that like brown bread, that like rye bread or whatever. We found the recipe for that, and we made that at home. Oh my god, that was so good. It was good stuff. Yeah, hardcore off. Dude, he's like one of these guys that like, goes to the lake every weekend, but doesn't get in the water, doesn't have a boat. He just kind of drinks. And then like, guy's a POS, man. When we got into that verbal fight, he's threatening to kick my ass. I'm just like, come on, I'm right here. And his wife ran out, and he like started going, like turning on her, like cussing at her. I'm like, yeah, we know what that relationship's like. Jesus. But it's been pretty quiet for the last year, so that's good. Look, man, I'm the best neighbor you can have. You will never even know I exist. I'm quiet. I'm respectful, and I do my own thing, and you won't even know I'm around, right? But if you like are inconsiderate and just an ass and don't care about, the people around you, the community, or, just the neighborhood. I mean, you don't have to be an asshole. You can do whatever you want, but you don't have to be an asshole. You'll hear it from me, man. I'll call you on it. But anyway, enough of that crap. He ain't worth talking about. He's a pain in the ass. That's cool. It's funny because, like, I don't know why, it's like, those guys that put those, like motorcycle mufflers on their car or something, and they're like it sounds like a race car or some shit. And it's just like, that's not cool. And I've seen guys like, drive up next to like some old people, like an old couple in a car, and they just go, and freaking them out. Dude, you could kill somebody like that, man. You could kill an old guy, making them unawares like that. That's just jerky. That's just assholes. The driveway queen compensator. That's true. We call him our nickname for him is we call him Get Her Done. It's like, hey, Get Her Done. He's back. And I'm like, yeah, it's like this guy is compensating for something in his life. That's cool. And that's cool. That's like showing some consideration, man. And then look, and I guarantee your neighbors are thankful for that because they don't have to listen to your race car just driving down the fucking street. You come home late at 3 a.m. and it's like, through the fucking neighborhood, waking everybody up. It's just like silent and deadly. That's okay. You can get away with yelling and shit. That's fine. I mean, our neighbors have heard us yelling. I've heard my neighbors yell. That's just normal. But yeah, it's just like, when you have those mufflers, it's that bass. It's like it's like this vibration just vibrates right through your house, man, right through the walls. It's like it's just shit. And it wakes me up. It wakes me up all the fucking time. I'm just like, oh, great. And then this is the thing. So I guess he drives a diesel, right? Okay. This truck he has, it's probably a 2020 or 2015 truck, right? But he idles that shit for like 15 minutes a day. Dude, it ain't fucking cold outside. You don't need to idle your diesel engine nowadays because they have all the technology that your glow rods or whatever they're called. You don't need that shit in unless it's like sub-zero Arctic temperature. You might have to do it for like 15 minutes, and it's just like, oh man, if I only had a Molotov cocktail, dude, I wouldn't get caught. If he was that maybe The Purge. Oh yeah, he's a target, dude. He's a target. I wouldn't want to kill him. I'm not a killer, but I would definitely burn that damn truck to the ground. Oh, I know, dude. Especially, dude, if you have kids, and that's the thing, man. In this neighborhood, there's a lot of like young families, and so there's like children, and it's like, and he doesn't drive fast. He doesn't drive dangerous. It's just that the muffler, guys, it's not even a muffler. It looks like a giant baffle. It almost looks like a jet engine nozzle that just points straight down on the bottom of his truck. It's just massive. It's just this huge. It's ridiculous. But yeah, he just doesn't give a shit. And I remember one time his wife had, we were fighting, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry for him. I'm like, you got to understand there's a lot of people who don't like us for some reason. I'm like, I can understand why. I can understand why. I'm sorry that you have to put up with that shit. But, guy's an asshole. But whatever. And then, of course, assholes draw each other like fucking moths to the flame. So it's not just one asshole. It's like his little car club they show up, you know, with all their blah 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 blahs, and I got to get out there, and I got to be, you know, the last time his car came over, I walked out. Yeah, I'm not a big cop caller, right? I don't really do that because calling the cops could get someone killed. But I like walked out there, and you know his whole club is out there, and they're like, doo, doo, doo. I'm like, guys, you have got to turn that shit off. You're shaking the whole neighborhood. I'm like, fuck you, fat ass. I'll kick your fucking ass. And I'm like, what? I'll fucking kill you. I'm like, so I called the cops, and dude, the minute I pulled out my phone and police, they all split. You know, I don't like doing that. Like again, I'm not a big guy to, you know, I don't do that. But you know, you threaten me, I'm gonna take it serious. I'll call you on it. I haven't seen that gang of whatever get her done's haven't been around since. So I guess something came good of it. But yeah, craziness. You know, I'm a big libertarian guy, right? And I'm all about freedom and, you know, freedom to live as you wish and all that. But you know what? We all got to live together, you know, and freedom isn't easy, man. It takes work. You know, it takes, you know, you can't just do whatever you want. You got to realize it does not, you know, trump someone else's freedoms. So when your freedom starts to impede on someone else's, then there's a problem. You know, we all got to live together, you know, in relative peace. I'm not saying give up something, but you know, have some consideration, man. What? What?
I didn't say shit.
Uh-huh. Mel hates when I talk off topic. She's like, that doesn't sound like Weird World War II. I don't know if I like these, how I painted these up. I don't know. It's hard to do. But painting a swarm of bugs on someone's body, that's hard to paint. Well, see, that's different, man. And a car meet is usually like, you know, in the parking lot of like a convention center or, you know, out in the fucking woods or some shit. It's not like in your driveway where there's people around, where there's 5 fucking cars with modified, you know, mufflers all revving up for an hour. Great. Yeah, it's just trash. It is. He's fucking dirtbag. He's a dirtbag. Any chat is good. Yeah, it is. I mean, we're all painting and we're all chatting. That's all good. But yeah, you know, whatever. It's, you know, shit. You gotta live with, you know, there's always those people. You just gotta fucking deal with them. Just gotta deal. For the most part. I mean, like the neighborhood, you know, I get along with all my neighbors. I mean, he's across the street, like cattywampus across the street. But but you know, the people around him, you know, they're miserable. And I guess he's kind of intimidating, you know. And plus, if he's got this little car, I don't give a shit, man. That probably get me killed. That I still think I'm invincible. I guess at times I should probably. I mean, I definitely choose my battles for the most part, but and you got to, man. Shit, people nowadays, you soon kill you than talk to you. Got to be any problem like in the gaming community. Haven't had too many problems. I remember the only time I ever had a problem was we were playing. This is during second edition 40K, and we're at. They had like they were doing like their first like worldwide like kind of campaign. It was like it was like when the Tyranids first came out, and they were doing like high fleet behemoth campaign or whatever. And what it did is like the stores would have like, you know, you'd have battle reports and the stores would report like the wins or whatever, right? So anyway, I played Space Marines. I played Space Marines. I was playing this guy who had Tyranids, And I had bought in, like, you remember those battle bunkers they had? I bought 3 of those and used those in my game because they came free in like one of the White Dwarf magazines, so everybody had them. But anyway, um, I used that and I just took Devastators, and that's I didn't. And I put all my shit in these battle bunkers, and it's like you had to survive. So many, and then like he got to recycle shoes. But anyway, long story short, I won. Like I just ripped him apart, right? And I don't know if this guy was new or whatever it might have been, but he freaked out, and he like he tipped the fucking table, right? And now he didn't flip it, he tipped it. He tried to flip it, but he couldn't. And hit a lot of his shit like fell off, and it knocked a couple of my shit off the table. And I like went off on the dude. I'm just like, look, I don't give a shit what you do with your shit, but you don't do that shit to me. Yeah, that was a bad. I never saw that guy again. He never showed up again. He got banned from the store and all that shit. But man, it's like, come on, get a grip. There's some people like that, man. They just cannot. I mean, it's just a game, dude. It's just fun. I mean, I wasn't like making fun of him or like being a dick. I just was beating him. I don't know. Craziness. I always get a chuckle when I hear people cheating. Now listen, I mean, I've seen a lot of people cheat in my gaming, and I just laugh. I kind of chuckle. I don't call them on it. I just kind of wink, yeah, right, or whatever, right? But it's so funny to think that people like go through these elaborate like things to cheat. It's like didn't some guy like recently at one of the big like Warhammer Worlds or whatever the fuck tournament, he like got busted cheating, and he tried to flush the dice down the toilet or some shit. It's just like, what is going on? It's just hilarious to think that someone would just go to those kind of elaborate, I don't know. It's hilarious. I've seen guys use you know trick dice, and you can tell they roll 2 different ways. That's it. The trick dice will always roll 2 different ways. It's hilarious. But again, you just got. I laugh. I don't get upset. I play to play because it's fun. I like hanging out with people and talking shit. But yeah, it's just funny when you see people cheat. Dude, so like you talk about dice. So I'm a firm believer if like there's bad dice, and I know that for a fact because what was his name? Tucci, the guy who did the original polyhedrine dice for the D&D stuff. He did this big video about how the main manufacturers of dice, how they make their dice, and then they agitate them to get and then while they're in those agitators getting the paint off them to make them look nice or whatever, they start to round, they start to lose their the shape, so the dice don't roll like they should, right? They're not crisp, clean, crisp edged. The only dice you can do, his science dice are really good, or like metal dice are pretty good, but yeah, they gotta have crisp edges with points, not But anyway, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll throw dice out a fucking window. Like if I had a bad game, I'm just like, whoosh, there's more where you can. So I'm sure where I used to live, there's like a trail of dice in the gutters and shit. I just chunk them. Oh, so like rulers. Okay, so like I have to admit, I might have been cheating in 2nd edition. Like we had the whirlwind. The Marines had that whirlwind, and you had to call the shot. It didn't just shoot. You had to call the shot, right? So I measured from the tip of my finger to the like the end of my arm, right? And it's like 24 inches, right? So I would like sit there and I'm like, I'll say about 24 inches to there. So I'm like, yeah. So I guess that's a little bit of cheating, but whatever. It's all right. Just a little bit, not a lot, just a little. I think that's about as far as I've ever gone in like in the cheating way. But sometimes it's just funny. You catch the guy cheating or whatever, and you just gotta laugh, man. It's just funny. And it's like you obviously needed this win a lot more than I did, so go ahead and have it. It's Che, shit. I listen. I did. Me and my best friend. We wanted to make some dice like that just to see if we could do it, and we did. We got two d6s, and we hollowed out the like one, the hole for the one, whatever. So that d6 would always roll a 6 or a fucking 1. So it's like it's either going to be great or it's going to be horrible. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather just take my chances with the dice instead of like getting a 1 or a 6. It was pretty funny. There you go. You don't put it on the table. Yeah. Oh yeah. You always see. Okay, so there's a level of like when enough is enough with a mini, right, guys? Because I mean, again, if you're like if you're OCD or if you're a perfectionist, right? You will never put a mini down, man. You will always. That's what I think. Bo from Bo Paints. I think Bo is a perfectionist, right? So when he's been highlighting the corners of these Sisters of Battle for like 2 years, right? And yeah, so it's like, dude, you just gotta like say it's good, it's good enough. You gotta set it. You gotta set it free. It's ready to go. Just let it go, or you're never gonna get finished. So yeah, there's a level of like you gotta commit to like, all right, there might be a touch up needed, but do I really need to? Can you really see that? But I'm kind of like that too. It's like if I know there's a flaw in it or whatever, or something I don't like, I'll try to fix it before I send it away. Totally by accident. I remember reading a story where I guess in some of the GW games, they had like it's like a red just piece of plastic. It almost like a piece of like, like sprue from a model kit that it's in the form of a ruler, right? And I remember reading somewhere where some guys would like heat it up and like pull it apart a little bit to just give it a little bit more inchage or some shit. Just like, really? It's like, what is wrong with you? That's it. You gotta let the minis go, man. You just, it's like so long. Head them off. Oh, dinner's ready, guys. Well, that means it is time for me to say adios. Guys, it was always a pleasure to hang out with you guys, talking about real life, talking about gaming and painting. I really appreciate you guys swinging by and hanging out and just interacting with me. You guys are always welcome in the house, always. If you're ever down in Texas, let me know, man. We'll definitely roll some dice. Okay. But whatever you guys do, keep it weird. And I'll be around tomorrow sometime. Hopefully, wish me luck on this job, guys. I really need it, and it pays a lot of money, and it got benefits right out of the chute, and da 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 da. Da. So shoot me some good vibes. All right, guys, take it easy. Thanks again for swinging by. Keep it weird.